where Perth talks at night with Chris Ilsley on Perth Tonight.
His website, benaylett.com, 1L, 2 T's in Aylett. Speaking of benaylett.com, complete with Hawaiian shirt. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Chris. How you going, mate?
Good. You look like you were about to pause there for a moment.
Oh, I was just sort of soaking up the moment, just gathering myself before we launch into talking about technology.
Indeed. And if you have any technology questions, or if your technology is malfunctioning, or let's be honest, if your technology is doing something that you haven't got a clue what it is,
Yep.
This is the time to make a phone call, 922 882. There is something, I know there's been a bit of reaction from the government somewhere that we've seen on Google. And when I opened Google, I saw this little triangle down the bottom. I thought, what's that about? And the triangle with an exclamation mark says, the way Aussies search every day on Google is at risk from new government regulation.
Yep. And it gives you a link to click on, which is essentially an open letter from Google to the I suppose, the viewing public of Australia. It opens up a few points here and there. Look, it's early days. It's a code of conduct that the Australian government is now forcing the likes of Google and Facebook to sort of adhere to. And it's a way that what they're trying to do is they're trying to level the playing field between Google and media.
And what they're trying to do is stop Google from taking from other media information, news stories that they've put together and then putting them out on Google at basically no cost to Google, but the catch being no financial return to the organisation from which the material was originally sourced.
Yeah. Now that's
it in a nutshell.
It is. So, look, I can see where the media companies are coming from, and I think I can kind of see where Google and Facebook are coming from. This is affecting everyone's business, and I think it's time to find a middle ground.
Well, they shouldn't be able to take other people's material and redistribute it at no charge. I mean, this was a battle that was inevitably going to happen. This is also a prime example of what happens when the legislation governing something is superseded by the technology. This technology got so far ahead that those people responsible, and you talk about the level playing field. Yeah. There isn't a level playing field, and there has never been a level playing field with respect to people such as Google, Facebook, et al. Yeah. They've just done what they've done, and then as time gone on, somebody's woken up and said, well, hang on, what are these people doing? And the fact of the matter is all of those platforms are used to distribute somebody else's material at no cost. So somebody can go and get from another source information from Google for which Google has not paid and for which the person or the company or the entity who is supplying that information is not receiving any financial compensation. Google, which I should point out is now the largest media company in the world, is now screaming foul about this. And the reason why they're screaming foul about this is because if Australia does it and does it successfully, you can bet your boots the EU and the US won't be far behind. Yeah, well, look, Brazil's already tried this. So they've already tried to sort of limit the amount of, I suppose, what they're calling content scraping that's going on. Yep. And they have tried it before with Google and I think with Facebook, but I think it's mostly Google News in particular. Yep. And I think parts of Europe have also given it a stab as well. And so far it's not been successful, but I don't know. It looks like Australia might at least, Australia's at least got Google's attention. Well, got their attention, whether it's actually going to succeed. The big question is, should people be able to essentially take other people's work, place it on their own platform at no charge, and should the person whose work has been taken give it for no compensation? Well, let me put it to you plain and simply. You've been in business, you understand this. Yep. If the people creating the work are not being compensated for it, they're not going to stay in business. And if they're working for a company and that company is not going to be compensated for it, then they're going to be out of a job. So I would argue that ultimately these platforms are going to have to pay for the content they distribute, which is actually in many respects not unreasonable. Yeah. But the problem is they've had it all their own way and they've been making an absolute mozza from it. The other problem, of course, you've got is how on earth they're ever going to control it.
Well, it has been controlled in other areas before. So in photography, for example, there are systems now in place where if I was to take a photo and if I was a professional photographer, I could subscribe to a service which then combs the internet for copies of my image that I've taken. And it flags those images, it alerts me, and I can then go and look at the image, and I can work out pretty quickly if the website that's displaying that image has actually got rights to display that image. And usually rights are purchased through the transfer of money. So there is a system out there that actually does the job, and it works with images. Pretty sure it works with audio and video as well. And so this is all around the digital rights, like copyright.
Yep.
So it stands to reason that there's not much standing in the way of a similar control or a similar technology to enforce, I guess, copyright on written works, being news. So I think it is possible there. It's just finding a way to make it work the way that everyone wins. And I understand where the creators are coming from. So if I was to write something,
if people are going to create content for which they're essentially not going to get paid, then they're not going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So what I'm arguing here is that people like Google and Facebook are either going to have to pay for the content they receive from external sources, or they're ultimately going to have to generate that content from their own sources.
Yeah.
And there is another issue that I don't necessarily know if anyone's really thought about, probably because it's most likely going to happen overseas.
Yeah.
At some point, both of those two organisations are going to fall foul of EU and US antitrust law.
Yeah.
It is inevitable it's going to happen.
Now, I think there's also a third option, the way that this can work out for everyone, which is what they proposed in Brazil, where they would only show the headlines of a news article. So instead of showing like a few lines of the actual article itself, you have to click on that link and it'll take you to the news site. So Google still gets their advertising revenue based on the searches, and then when they click on it, it goes through to the original creator of that content or the creator of that article, and they get to do their little bit of advertising as well based on the work that they've done. So I'm totally confident there are ways around it, but I think it's just early in the piece where we've got the ACCC and Google and I suppose Facebook a little bit. Facebook hasn't said much yet, but I'm pretty sure they will.
They're probably just going to wait and see what happens with Google.
Yeah.
And then they'll comment based on what happened with Google.
Yeah. But I still think it's early days. We've only seen this happen within the last 24 hours. I think there's still a fair bit more to play out.
Well, you're probably right. 922 118 82 if you have any technical questions, any technical issues.
Yeah.
Or if you're right now staring at a piece of your technology and thinking maybe this will work or is it broken?
Yeah.
This is a man who might be able to help. 922 118 82 is our telephone number. We'll take some calls shortly. Don't forget Ben's website, benaylett.com. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett. That's also where you'll find all of his contact information.
We understand not all small businesses are the same. That's why Nissan Fleet offers tailored vehicle solutions for your unique business needs. With dedicated fleet managers available across Australia, we're your local fleet experts, providing quality advice, support and customer service for the entire life of your vehicle fleet. Visit your local Nissan dealer or search Nissan Fleet today, and we'll find the right business solution for you.
Hi, it's Scott Ingram from Helium Marketing. Do you struggle to keep on top of your monthly marketing activities? Imagine what you could achieve with access to a team of designers and content writers who know and understand your business. Helium's Rent a Marketing Manager service allows you to outsource your marketing for a fraction of the cost of hiring an extra staff member. Plus, you can mix and match your services as the needs of your business change. Put Helium's local, on-the-ground team to work now. Call 1-800-HELIUM. That's 1-800-HELIUM.
It's Gareth Parker here, and our greatest asset on mornings is you, our listeners, who call in and contribute to the show every day with news tips, contributions to our debates, points that make us think. Thanks to our friends at WA Asset, the bathroom renovators, this year we want to find our greatest asset and reward you with an amazing experience. Simply be part of the show weekdays from 9 to go into our end-of-year draw to win a $10,000 dream holiday to your dream destination. You could be morning's greatest asset. Thanks to WA Asset, the bathroom renovators, bathrooms for living.
You know, cooking can be so tedious.
Which is why we now...
A couple of days ago, this ad was still being written, and today it's reaching millions. In uncertain times, you can maximise your advertising by maximising the speed and flexibility of radio. Because right now, the one thing you need in your marketing plan is the ability to change it. For speed to market that gets results, visit radioalive.com.au.
Hi, it's Nicola from Jindy here, Perth's premium coastal neighbourhood. I've been really busy selling beautiful coastal land. It's no wonder really, with our generous Jindy Inspiration bonus plus the government incentives. The good news is I have a new release and a range of stunning elevated lots from $255,000. I'd love to show you around, so call me 1300 Jindy or check out our website jindee.com.au.
Carl Langdon here. I want to tell you about one of my favourite fishing spots. Golden Ponds Fish and Marine Park is the only recreational fishing park in the metro area where you can catch fish all day long for just $10 for adults and $5 for children. Golden Ponds gives visitors the chance to drop a line in one of their many ponds, boasting fish such as silver perch, black brim, seasonal trout and barramundi. Golden Ponds, one of WA's most popular tourist destinations. Cafe open 7 days for lunch. Visit the Golden Ponds website for more.
Until midnight on 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
We are talking technology with Ben Aylett. BenAylett.com is the website. 1L, 2 T's and Aylett. I'd like to have a chat to Ben, 92211882. G'day, Phil.
G'day, Chris. G'day, Ben. How are you,
G'day, Phil.
mate?
How's things, mate?
Good, yeah. I haven't got my Apple SE yet. I believe that there might be an update of it in September, so I'm just hanging off to see whether it's going to come up.
Okay.
But
yeah,
what I'm concerned about is people driving down the street and hooking onto your Wi-Fi that when you haven't got your phone locked. Could you tell us exactly what's going on? Because about 15 years ago, I had a little cousin of mine come over. He was only about 11.
Yep.
And he walked in bragging about how he locked onto somebody down the street in my street, and he talked to my daughter about it. And I told him it wasn't a very nice thing to do, to pinch somebody else's data or something.
So what is on? That is great.
So what he's talking about, I'm guessing, is logging onto somebody's phone because their Wi-Fi is open.
Not so much the phone.
Or the Bluetooth.
No, to the, if I have a wireless access point at home, being a wireless router,
yep.
And if I haven't secured it properly, then there's nothing stopping people like this young fella from jumping onto my network and basically using my connection for his gain.
Okay. So yeah. I happen to live near you.
Yep.
You're the next door neighbour, and I go, you beauty.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Oh, look at that. Password, I'm in.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden I'm playing, I don't know, COD on my game console through your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
That's
so look,
exactly what he was doing, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So first off, you are 100% right in saying that that's not a good thing to do, because you are effectively stealing somebody else's resources, being the internet.
Right.
And this is a practice that is known as war driving. Now, that's WAR driving.
War driving. And it's basically running around with a wireless device, be it a phone, laptop, or something else, and you're jumping onto wireless networks that aren't properly secured, and then you can either record the location and the name of the wireless network for later use, or you can just jump on and download a bunch of music or videos or something. So basically getting free Wi-Fi, not a good thing. Now,
is that...
Yeah, carry on.
Go on. When I get my Apple SE,
yep.
Does that Apple come with protection set up for this sort of thing?
Yeah, okay. So people accessing your phone via war driving is actually very, very difficult, if not impossible, because the phone is looking to connect to a wireless access point. It's not waiting for other devices to connect to it. So it is acting more like a client, and the access point is more like a server.
Yep.
Okay? Your phone being compromised over Wi-Fi, the risk is extremely low.
Right. Would I need to, when I get the Apple SE, would I need to put on that one they advertise on 6PR, that Trend?
Oh, Trend Micro?
Yeah.
Look, for peace of mind, you can. Personally, I don't usually use off-the-shelf antivirus products or security products. I just make sure that my software, so if I've got an Apple iPhone, I make sure that iOS is running the latest updates, and you're just careful with what you do. So don't click on weird links that you might receive as a message or an email. Only download apps from an authorized location, i.e. in your case, it will be the App Store. And don't do dumb things on your phone, really.
Yeah, so the Apple will come with all this built-in protection.
Apple, by design, is actually quite secure.
I was going to say they're pretty robust.
They are.
And that's something that Apple prides itself on, is how robust it is. Thank you very much for that, Phil.
Excellent question.
It's always possible, I suppose, if people leave, and a lot of people do leave their Wi-Fi open. It takes me, well, there's a lot of people whose Wi-Fi is open. I know you that. We had 3 in our street. I had to go and tell them to put passwords on their Wi-Fi.
Oh, very good. That's excellent. Look, that used to be really, really common back in the day when we first had Wi-Fi available and people were just making it work, and then the idea of security really wasn't thought about. I'm talking like 20 years ago when we first started seeing Wi-Fi appear on the scene. These days, a lot of Wi-Fi routers actually have a default password attached to them, which is very, very hard to guess. So it's not the same across all models. It's actually a very unique code, and you'll find it on the sticker underneath your router.
Beautiful. Hi, Norman.
Yes, I've got Messenger app, but clicking into the app, it keeps freezing me out on VoiceOver. It keeps blocking me out when I get into it.
Okay, sorry.
It keeps blocking me out. It keeps blocking me out when I go into the app.
Okay, so what are you doing? You're trying to go... Norman, slow down.
Yes.
You're trying to go into an app and it keeps
Messenger.
locking you out. Is that correct?
Yes, Messenger.
All right.
On iPhone 6S.
iPhone 6S. You still got that thing, mate?
Yes.
Well, I thought you were updating it, Norman.
We're still waiting for the NDIS to approve it. It's been taking a while.
Okay. You have to go through the process. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, but do I have to re-download the app, Messenger, to start again?
I don't think
can't get into it?
I don't think you can re-download Messenger. Have you tried really restarting the phone? So you do this by first of all, you double tap the home button, and then you swipe up with all the apps that are running, and then once you've done that, you press and hold the power button until it says slide to power off. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, you can start it up again, and that should sort out your problem. If it doesn't, then you could do something that is I suppose, more of a hard reset. So you turn off the phone, as we've discussed before, and then as you're powering it on, you press and hold the home button as well as hold down the power button, and this will...
It doesn't work. I tried that.
Oh, okay. Well, you might need to contact Apple, because that sounds really weird.
Yeah.
If those 2 tricks don't work, and you've actually got to really hold it down for a long time until the Apple logo appears and then goes away, then you release, and that should do the reset.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Norman. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Norman's going through the process where he's got this ancient phone, but he still has to wait for it to be approved to be purchased under the NDIS.
Yeah, because he could really use it now, couldn't he? Not later.
Yeah.
Now.
It's one of those phones, it's definitely done its time.
Sure.
Served him for many years.
Yeah. He's really wrung the juice out of that thing. He's done quite well, actually. Well done to you, Norman.
Mind you, there is always this assumption, is there not, that people are going to change their phones with a plan? How many people do you reckon still have a phone? 92211 If you've got a phone that's more than 5 years old, whatever it is, give me a call. All right, I'm going to go with more than 5 years old, because there'll be people who've got a phone, I guarantee you, they've looked at it and said, I like this phone.
Yeah.
Right, they can see no good reason. It does what they want it to do. They're running, if it's a smartphone, they're running the apps they want to run. The apps appear to be running okay.
Right.
and they're not drawn. It's not like, it's not like the young people go, I've got a plan for a year. I'm going to get a new phone after a year. Or, the new iPhone's coming out, better get that. Oh, the new Android's coming out, better get that. They don't think that way.
Yeah, no.
Now, there are people around who don't think that way, who are quite happy as long as the phone is functional.
Yep.
And as long as it's doing what they want it to do when they want it to do it, they're quite happy to keep it.
Yeah. But there's a catch.
What's the catch?
Security. Typically phones that
you're
are 5 years...
killjoy.
I know, I'm such a pain. Typically phones that are 5 years or older, their security updates stopped maybe a couple of years ago, and they've got security
Maybe they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Good day, Juan.
Good evening. I've got an iPhone 6S that I've had to keep.
Yep.
Because this iPhone bloody 10 or whatever it is a big pile of crap.
Oh.
I can't offload my photos onto the computer with this.
Oh, okay. Right.
And I've rebooted it. I've done everything. I've actually reset the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't back it up. I can't do anything with it.
Right.
So for my photos and videos,
yeah,
I do an airdrop to the is it an airdrop? Yeah.
Yeah, airdrop
to the 6S, and then I plug it into the computer and offload them there.
Oh, okay, right.
And this thing, I'll tell you, it's been I like the iPhones, but this one is a piece of crap.
Oh dear.
I've got to reboot it once a day because something will freeze or it's just garbage.
Okay. Look, there's a little tip I can offer for the photos to make things a little bit easier. Have you heard of Google Photos?
I have.
Yeah.
Is that bit like Dropbox?
No, I actually think it works a lot better than Dropbox because it automatically synchronizes your photos from your phone, be it like a Samsung or Android phone or an Apple iPhone. It will play happily with all of them, and it will synchronize it to your Google Photos cloud storage.
Good stuff. Thank you for that one. Ben, thank you very much for your time, as always.
Absolute pleasure.
By the way, don't forget Ben's website. That's also where you'll find his contact information. It is Ben Aylett, 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett, benaylett.com.
It's Millsy and Baz here. Don't miss Kim Hagdorn with all the latest breaking sports news every morning just after 7:45.
I'm hearing really strong that the AFL jigsaw for September, October is starting to fall into place. And I understand a very historic Brownlow medal the venue has been booked and the AFL want to get it straight after the conclusion of the qualifying series.
And Haggers will take your calls every morning. Tell him what you think. Kim Hagdorn on